Okay, here we are back in Crystalline, and I have to preface this with a little bit of a disclaimer. You may hear explosions in the background. It is the 4th of July as I'm recording this. The heat wave is still going on. As such, I'm not getting out all my stuff to record like normal. We're just going to stick to visual novels. Now, disclaimer part 2. If you hear that, that is thunder. That is about to rain out the 4th of July. So everyone's firing off their fireworks to try to get the most out of them before the rain starts. And disclaimer number 3. In the event there's a fire or an explosion and I need an alibi, I now have you guys. So by watching past this point, you are agreeing to be said alibi. So without further ado, let's move into the game. The next morning, sunlight fills the room and wakes me. I groan, hoisting the blanket over my face. I stayed up way too late to watch those fireworks last night. Morning has come far too early. The Pongo groans. He squints from the sun as well and wiggles next to me, turning his head into my chest. I know, right? It's too early. The Pongo nods in agreement. I let out a deep sigh. We better get up and meet the others. The Pongo lets out a little grumble. I stifle a laugh and sit up, hoisting the Pongo into my scarf. At least he can still get some extra sleep in there. I strap on my boots and go downstairs to meet the others. Suddenly I hear a clatter of footsteps. I look up to see Zack and Kara traveling down the stairs. Hey guys. Zack nods.
Hey.
I notice a few more scratches on his neck and collarbone again. Kara seems to be in her usual chipper mood, a bit too chipper. If Zack's wild hair and marks indicate what happened yesterday, Kara's smirk sure does. A slow smile tugs at my mouth. Hey Zack, I never saw you again last night. Zack blinks.
What?
I really missed you. You never came home.
Sorry, he was a bit tied up last night.
His face burns red. I hear some footsteps. I turn around to see Leanna and Amy enter the inn with their arms full of supplies. Hey, did you guys go shopping? Leanna grins and nods.
Yep. We figured we'd get it out of the way so we can start our journey quicker.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Excellent. Let's get going.
We make our way out of the inn. Soon we find ourselves out of town and onto a new path. The journey seems to go by pretty fast. The Pongo sleeps soundly inside of my scarf, and I talk to Leanna and Amelia to pass the time. As always, Kara giggles and flirts with Zack. This time I notice him giving her a few lingering glances. His expression is a little softer than usual. We continue to travel for some time until finally the sky is dark, dotted with only stars. We stop to make camp and Zack cooks us up another delicious meal. Oh man, I'm starving. My stomach gives an impatient rumble. It smells great. Zack doesn't say anything, but he gives me a large portion of stew. Kara takes a helping and joins us, but Amy and Leanna grab their bowls and head off a short distance. They mention something about casting. I don't pay much attention as long as I'm not roped into practicing. I blow on my spoon and take a bite. Once again, Zack's cooking does not disappoint. I practically sigh as I take in another spoonful, too focused on the meal to join in on the conversation. I hear a rustling sound and spot the Pongo investigating the packs. He perks up, spotting something interesting. Then the rustling grows louder. Zack and Kara look over at him too. Pongo, what are you up to? He doesn't respond, but the rustling stops. That's not suspicious. Zack cranes his neck to get a better look, then he jumps to his feet.
Hey! You get away from there!
I hear a squeak as Zack rushes back to the bags. Whoa, what's going on? I follow Zack over there just in time to see him push his dischargers aside.
No! Bad Pongo!
The Pongo runs to Kara's legs, trembling behind them. Kara frowns.
Whoa! Hey, it's okay.
She leans down, pats the Pongo reassuringly, then she glares at Zack.
Calm down, you're scaring him.
Calm down! He was eating my dischargers!
That doesn't mean you have to act like you're about to tear him apart.
Zack crosses his arms.
He knows he's not supposed to be near them.
He narrows his eyes and the Pongo hides his face in Kara's legs.
You sure about that? He's a Pongo. He's attracted to energy. Any kind of energy.
So let's use the thermal energy here and get rid of him once and for all. Zack grumbles, then lets loose a sigh.
Fine.
He returns to the fire and we resume eating our dinner. Kira untangles herself from the Pongo and rejoins us. The Pongo blinks at us, then back towards the packs. Then back at us, then back at the packs. I think I catch a twinkle in his eyes. He takes a tentative hop closer to the dischargers. And another one.
Don't even think about it.
The Pongo freezes and shrinks into himself. Kira frowns at Zack.
What did we just talk about?
He's doing it again!
Kira turns around. The Pongo blinks innocently at her. She whirls back around to face Zack.
Doing what?
Trying to eat my dischargers!
He's nowhere near your dischargers.
As he watches Kira defend him, the Pongo looks smugly at Zack and takes another challenging step towards the packs.
Oh, he's clearly up to something. Just look at his face!
She looks at the Pongo who reverts back to his goofy smile.
Oh, he's just being his usual cute self. Don't be so paranoid.
Zack turns to me.
You saw that look he gave me, right?
Leave me out of this. I look back down at my food. I'm just trying to eat my food in peace. This is between you three. Kara glares at Zack.
You're not weaseling out of this one so easily, mister.
She scoops the Pongo into her arms and brings him back to us. He settles in her lap, his head nestled in her chest.
Don't worry, Pongo. I won't let him be mean to you anymore.
He looks up at Kara with a bright smile and shining eyes. She smiles warmly down at him. When she looks away, I notice the mischievous glint in his eyes. He returns Zack's glare with a smug look. Guess the Pongo really does know what he's doing. After dinner, we relax for a while, then roll out our bedrolls to go to sleep. I slip in my bedroll, breathing deeply. The Pongo burrows into Kara's bedroll, and she wraps a protective arm around him. Slowly but surely, I doze off to the sound of the crackling fire slowly dying out. Told you, Zack, we had to get rid of it earlier. You didn't listen, you pay the price. The next morning, we get up bright and early. Everyone seems to be in a more serious mood as we clean up camp. We're getting really close to the Shadow Temple, and the weight of what we might find there weighs in all of us. After we pack up, we continue on towards the Shadow Temple. The sky is clear and beautiful, but the sun is hot. It seems to beat on the back of our necks. The path is dusty, the sand pristine, but hard to walk in. After a while, I realize I'm getting desperately thirsty. Take a swig from my canteen, thankfully packed before heading out. I wonder how Zack can manage to keep his trench coat on this whole time. Even Leanna looks a little stuffy in her armor. Kara's the only one who doesn't seem bothered by the weather. After what seems to be forever, we come across the temple ruin into the night. The stones are charcoal gray. It seems to be humming with a deep old magic. I can feel it from here, something fizzy and crackling. A type of energy that settles deep within my bones without having to even enter.
This is it.
Leanna nods.
Yeah.
Kara grips her knives.
It's probably best we all stay close. We don't know where we're going to find Void, or whatever else we might find in there.
Leanna draws her sword. Her manipulator already gives off a faint glow. I ready my sword as well.
Right. Let's get going. Everyone, stay close.
We nod and together enter the temple. The temple is surprisingly dark and cool. There's a gentle moaning breeze coming from somewhere. Wisps around the back of my neck like the lips of a ghost. A shiver runs down the length of me. I'm unsure if I should be thankful or frightened. How is this place so cold when it's located in a desert? The walls are gray and etched with glowing lime green symbols. The stones here look rough and uneven, but the ground is dry and clear of any sand. The only sounds are the hammering of my heart and the crunch of our boots against stone. We stumble through the dark, taking small steps, fearful that we could turn a corner and stumble across Void at any minute. We keep inching onward. For what feels like an eternity, we stumble across an open area inside the temple. Leanna frowns.
This is strange. No one is here.
Kara keeps her voice low.
Maybe they're deeper inside the temple somewhere.
Leanna's brows furrow.
Maybe. I just feel like we would have heard them, or seen them by now.
Zack's jaw clenches.
This could be a trap.
A chill runs down my spine.
If that is the case, it does us no good to stay in one place. It is best to move on and see if we can find Void, or the Shadow Elemental.
The others agree.
Right. Then let's keep going.
Our footsteps echo in the quiet. Zack leads the way with his guard up. Kara stays close to him with Leanna and Amelia walking side by side. I take another step. The temple seems to be getting darker as shadows curl at my feet. I squint as the light grows fainter and fainter and the shadows grow longer and longer.
Be careful.
Leanna's voice sounds far away, but she was right next to me a minute ago. Leanna? My voice feels flat and dull against the emptiness. No echoes resound. In fact, I can't even hear my friend's footsteps anymore as the shadows thicken in the air. Soon the darkness overtakes me and I stumble, my hands out in front of me. Amy, do you think you could light us a fire? I'm met with silence. Amy? Glancing around, I'm surrounded by total darkness, with no signs of my friends. Only a black abyss looms in front of me. I feel the tightness as the shadows squeeze closer to me. I close my eyes as I feel the whisper of a breath on the back of my neck. Then suddenly, it stops. I blink my eyes open. Huh? I'm back outside the temple. All my friends are here, surrounding me. They seem to be in good spirits. Strange. Something in the back of my mind tingles. Feels like something about this is off, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But no, we came to the Shadow Temple, didn't we? There's nothing odd about this. I turn to Amelia, who taps her chin in thought.
It seems you have gathered all of the elements.
I blink. What? I did. I remember meeting the Shadow Elemental, but Amelia nods.
Yes, you did.
Leanna gives me a soft smile.
You can finally go home.
I look around. Zack, Kara, the Pongo, they're all here too. Hope blooms in my chest. I turn back to Amelia, disbelief lifting up into my smile. Really? Amelia nods.
Indeed. Now you can open the rift to go back home.
I nod, unable to contain my excitement. I reach out my hand. Wait. Something about this feels wrong. I thought it was unwise for me to... My brows furrow. I don't know why, but a warning tingles at the nape of my neck. Something about opening a rift right now seems like a bad idea. Amelia cocks her head.
What is the matter? You have absorbed all the elements.
Don't you want to leave?
No, that's not it.
You finally have a chance to go be with your family. That's great.
I shake my head. Something about this just feels weird. Kara laughs.
What's so weird about it? You can finally go home. That's great news.
Poi poi.
Amelia nods.
Indeed. Use all of the elements and you should be able to open the rift.
It's what you wanted to do this whole time.
I lift my gaze and look over the smiling faces of my friends. Well, I'm ready. I can go home. They nod. That's what I came here to do.
Correct. And now you possess all the elements and can open a rift.
I nod slowly. Maybe this time my cast will be successful. I stand a ways back and reach out my arms as my friends watch on. Closing my eyes, I summon all of the energy within me. My breathing becomes labored as a sharp pain slices through my body. My knees go weak as I fall to the ground. There's a bright light. I jerk awake. The light is gone. Huh? I can feel the Pongo resting on my chest, but he looks just like a blurry blue blob. I blink rapidly, forcing my vision to refocus. The Pongo's eyes shimmer with tears. He nudges my cheek as if trying to wake me. His little voice is tinged with distress. Hey, it's alright, I'm okay. The Pongo perks up at my voice. I reach out and pet the top of his head. Hey, it's okay. He wobbles underneath my touch. I feel him start to relax. He hops onto my shoulder, snuggling close to my neck. I force myself to stand. The room sways a little. It takes me a full minute to realize I'm back in the Shadow Temple. I groan and rub the back of my head. What was that? I feel the Pongo shrug. So you didn't see any of that? He blinks. Apparently not. Was it all just a dream? I look around. Where did the others go? I blink away the rest of the blurriness from my vision and see the others are sprawled out across the floor. My stomach lurches with alarm. What happened? Are they hurt? Leanna is the closest to me. I stumble as I rush over to her. Leanna. I reach out, attempting to shake her awake. As soon as I touch her, that same blinding light explodes in my vision. I flinch, squeezing my eyes shut. Then slowly the light begins to fade. Huh? I open my eyes. Isn't this Leanna's home? We're all seated at the table for breakfast. The tension is taut in the air.
Oh, spare me the theatrics. How could this be your dream? Don't you realize how dangerous it is to be a mage knight?
Yes, I do realize that. I live it every day. But at least, as a mage knight, I'm well equipped to take care of myself. I've been trained to handle danger.
He shakes his head.
You can't be prepared for every circumstance. What if you get ambushed, outnumbered, or overwhelmed in battle? What if your teammates fall and you're the only one left?
So what if that does happen? How can we live life based on hypotheticals? What if I became ill? What if I couldn't bear children? Would you still force me to get married? What if those things happened? I wouldn't be able to fulfill my duty as a lady in the House of Dawn. Then what?
Her father scowls and waves a hand dismissively.
That's not the same. Those are all based on chance. You aren't throwing yourself into situations which would allow those things to occur. As a mage knight, you're walking into those scenarios every day.
Leanna points a finger at Leon. Her voice is shrill. She tries to keep her composure.
What about Leo then? He's a mage knight who walks into danger every day. Why aren't you worried about him?
Because it's his responsibility to serve and protect as a man in the House of Dawn.
For once, Leanna is speechless. Silence settles over the table like a heavy blanket. Her mother stares at her lap as still as a statue. Leon opens and closes his mouth as if he wants to speak but can't find the words to say. Her father nods.
Now that you've come to your senses, we can discuss the details of the engagement.
No.
The rage returns to her father's face.
How many times must we go round in this endless game? When will you accept your responsibility as a lady in the House of Dawn?
Leanna's voice is scarily calm.
If this is what it takes to be a Dawn, then I don't want to be a Dawn anymore.
Then her parents laugh.
Fine.
Shock spreads across Leanna's face.
What?
He shrugs.
If you refuse to fulfill your responsibility as a Dawn, then you have no right to call yourself a Dawn.
Stay quiet. There's no way Leanna's gonna believe him. Even she knows her father isn't that cruel. Leanna remains frozen. She stares at her father unblinking.
Leanna, I am speaking to you.
She flinches. Her face redens as she lifts her head to face him.
You'd refuse me as your daughter?
Oh, it is your decision, not mine.
Leanna shakes her head as if trying to clear it. The scene begins to wobble as if unstable.
Then I suppose I'm no longer a Dawn.
Just like before, there's another blinding flash of light. It engulfs the room until it burns my eyes too much to keep them open. I cringe, shielding my face. After a few moments, I feel the light slowly begin to fade. When I open my eyes again, Leanna is still on the ground. She gasps awake. Are you okay? I'm still on my knees, hovering beside her. Leanna's eyes are wide and wet. A few tears slip down her face.
I don't
She curls her knees into her chest.
know.
She'll get over it. It wasn't real, you'll be fine. She hastily wipes her eyes. Her face crumples and she struggles to compose herself.
Sorry. I don't mean to act like this.
I shrug. Don't apologize. She releases a heavy breath.
Thank you.
I nod. Leanna glances around. She must have spotted the others because her face furrows in concern.
Are they okay? What's happening to them?
I think they're trapped inside their own illusions. When I touched you, I was able to see and hear everything going on. I think we can help them too. She nods, still visibly shaken.
Right.
I help her stand and then we drag her way over to the others. Zach is the closest. His face is surprisingly calm, as if he was just cuddled up for an afternoon nap. Even so, I feel an impending sense of dread. What kind of illusion is Zach facing? Can't even begin to imagine some of the awful things he must have seen in his past as a mercenary. Are you ready? Leanna nods. Together we bend down and touch his arm. There's that same low moaning sound, a flash of light. Leanne and I find ourselves at a campsite. A few silver stars wink overhead. The air is cool and calm. Fireflies blink in the distance.
Where are we?
Not sure. There's an abrupt roar of laughter. We turn around to see Zack sitting around a fire with a large group of people. They all burst into another wave of laughter, and Zack joins in their merriment. I was expecting to see something darker, but he's actually happy. My stomach clenches. I'm not sure if that's worse or not. Zack glances over at a few cards in his hands. I notice the others are also hunched over their own cards.
Damon, do you have any sixes?
My heart gives an unpleasant twist.
Oh,
Worry crinkles between Leanna's brows.
Damon. That's his old mentor, right?
I nod. I remember some of the stories Zack told me about Damon at the inn. He looks just as humble and strong as Zack described him to be. Damon chuckles.
Not today, my boy.
Zack sighs and begrudgingly takes a card from the pile.
Hey, Zack. You don't happen to have any sixes, do you?
Zack frowns. Ver chuckles. He has the same bright red hair, but he looks younger here. A few of the marks on his face look fresh, like he got them recently. Zack grudgingly hands over his cards. The grin sprawls across Vera's face. He places down several matches.
Looks like I win again.
The others throw their heads back and groan, but they're laughing. Zack shakes his head.
You always seem to win.
Vera shrugs, feigning humility.
What can I say? I'm just lucky.
Damon claps a hand over Zack's shoulder.
Maybe next time, Zack.
Zack smiles, looking appreciative. My stomach turns. Zack, this isn't real. Zack pauses. He lifts his head up and turns in our direction.
What's wrong?
Shakes his head.
Nothing. I just thought I heard my name.
Vera laughs.
Getting a little crazy there, Zack?
A faint blush dusts his cheeks. He shakes his head.
No, it was nothing.
Leanna frowns next to me.
This isn't good. What if he doesn't want to leave the illusion?
Dinner's ready. Everyone perks up.
Oh, great. I'm starving.
One of the men passes everyone in the group a bowl of soup. Just as soon as Zack is about to dig in, someone hands Vera a bowl. It's twice the size of everyone else's. Zack barely blinks an eye.
You've got to eat up there. I can't have my star pupil going hungry.
Vera flashes Damon a bright smile.
Thanks.
Damon takes a few bites of his soup.
Oh, by the way, Zack, after we're done, you can clean up for the night.
Zack blinks.
Me? But I cleaned up the last 3 times.
Damon smiles, looking apologetic.
Bear needs to have his strength to run point on the Crystal Rail mission tomorrow.
Zack blinks.
Wait,
Zack's held breath seems to leave his body.
the Crystal Rail?
Vera lets out a bitter laugh.
What? Did you think you were running point?
Realization washes over him. Zack's face pales.
That's not...
He shakes his head.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Zack looks like he's remembering. Hope flourishes in my chest. We'll let him handle it himself. I stay quiet. Zack obviously doesn't want to listen to us. I think he can come to the realization himself.
I ran point on that mission.
What are you talking about?
Damon raises his eyebrows.
Zack, you're not making sense. We haven't done the mission yet.
Zack's eyes go dark. It's like his very soul has flown somewhere far, far away.
No, we have.
His grip tightens around his bowl. Damon's brows crinkle. The others stare at him.
What are you talking about?
He lets out a nervous laugh.
You're starting to worry me.
Zack slowly raises his head. His eyes are bleak.
No,
His bangs cover his eyes.
this isn't real.
Damon shifts under his gaze.
What do you mean?
Zack looks up. He seems to have trouble getting the words out.
This was nice, seeing all of you again.
The group looks at him, but no one speaks. Zack stands up and brushes himself off.
You're leaving?
I'm moving forward with my life. I'm not living in the past anymore.
He stares down at Damon. Damon finally smiles.
Take care then.
Always.
A bright light bursts across her eyes. It's like a star exploded and filled the entire campsite. I flinch, throwing my arm over my eyes. The heat from the light gradually begins to decrease. I feel it start to dim. When I lower my arm, a few bright spots blink in front of my nose. It takes a few seconds for my eyes to refocus, and I realize we're back in the temple. But we're gonna have to pick up here later because the 4th of July is currently getting rained out, so I'll probably pick this up tomorrow.